Hey everyone, it's DJ Smooth in Orlando, Florida, and thank you for checking out the behind the scenes on another remix. This one we're going to do Dua Lipa, and this is training season. This is one of those that I tried my best to get a version up on YouTube that I was happy with, and YouTube's censors are so strict that I ended up sort of making two versions of this. And so the version that you see and hear in the YouTube version, that's up on the YouTube website, is not the version that's going to be in my DJ library, because I had to make some changes to that version for YouTube that I was not completely happy with, but it's just one of those things if you're going to deal with YouTube and trying to do it. So what you're looking at here is Ableton. This is the project session, and this is kind of the raw vocals. So, I don't know if you can hear it right there, but there's an awful lot of reverb in there, and I've got a flanger on there, and there's some spice in there on the vocals, and then of course there's other things in there. But so if we start kind of at the beginning of this, really, I was trying to figure out which direction to go with this thing, and so kind of modeling different drums and different keyboards, and got a nice fat kick drum there. I ended up using two different hi-hats because when I listened to them individually, they're like, okay, but putting them together, I was like, okay, I kind of like that. And then I found another sort of percussion loop that I liked. And, if you listen to that, it's got just a hint of a snare. And then I put an actual snare in there. Right, so when you put the kick back in, you get a nice little drum track going. So the other thing that I was kind of trying to figure out how I wanted to structure the mix was because I wanted like a house version, like a club remix, a house, sort of version to this. And so, separate from the drums, so the next layer of your foundation up would be kind of the bass and everything. And I auditioned like a bunch of different ideas for this. Ended up going with this. Got it side chained to the kick drum down here, which you kind of notice in the... Well, actually, I think I'm blocking that. So let me remove myself for a second here. So down in the bottom left corner, you can kind of see that just... that's the that's the side chain kicking in there. So yeah, I got that going on with the bass, trying to get like a specific sound going on there. And then I ended up using a second one. They're both in the same key, obviously. But this one was a little bit more sustained. And I kind of liked it. I don't know. And then kind of building on top of that. So like if you listen to the two bass lines together, you get... See? Got a nice little kind of floating. It's constant, but it's kind of like, pulsating a little bit, right? And then when you start adding the kick back in, right? Put the hi-hats back in. And then put the percussion in. And it's not elaborate, right? But it's there. It works. And then just trying different ideas. I spent a lot of time just auditioning stuff. But one of the things that I also kind of really honed in on was this. Because I wanted something to sort of ride in there to give it a little bit more rhythm, but not really kind of go crazy. Right? So then you start to put this together. Right? You add all the pieces back in there. Yes, it's kind of like, Now, when she got into certain parts of the chorus, I added this keyboard to kind of fill it out a little bit right here. This is the trick, is like finding something that doesn't like really fight with the vocals. And so when you put the vocals back in, right, so keyboard kicks in here, and then here comes the chorus. And you know, it's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of reverb in there on her vocals. Wow. You can hear, like, as soon as you stop it. Yeah. And then I added this one little part down here that is sort of the transition. I kind of liked this, and it rides up underneath everything else. Nothing elaborate. It's just, but the thing is, when you put it into the mix, right, then you get a right. And then, so now, so like at the very beginning, you get a nice transition. And there you go. And yeah. It's the other thing trying to figure out. Oh, there's one creative choice that I made here. If you listen to the original, right as she comes out of this chorus, the first main chorus, so like right in here, she would ordinarily go right into the second verse. And so I got the loop on there, but so right in here, I don't know, I decided I wanted to separate it a little bit. I wanted, like, you know, a lot of club tracks, first of all, the length, right? Because the regular radio edit of this thing was only like 3 minutes, and I just wanted to stretch it out a little bit, you know, club remix, something I can play on my show. And so I decided right here to kind of create my own little space. You see the riser coming back in here. Just sort of pick it back up. Keyboards go on there, kind of keep the rhythm. So there's our riser. And I am not a professional remixer. I am still learning my way through this. I'm an amateur at best, just to be perfectly honest. I've spent most of my career just playing what other people produced. And so I'm just now learning Ableton, learning structure, and, you know, how to do things, and just feeling it out as I go. And hopefully there's a progression as I keep working on stuff that gradually gets better. But so, yeah, we'll get down towards the end. And this was the other thing, is I couldn't figure out how I wanted to handle the ending. And I know that just from so many remixes over the years, working with them, you know, using them in clubs and on radio and stuff, and that there's kind of at the beginning of the remix, there's sort of a build up, right? And then, you know, the core part, and then there's kind of a step down. And so that's essentially what I'm trying to do here, is just kind of step down. Get a little bit of, you know. So right in here, I would ordinarily be mixing out, depending on, of course, what's coming up behind this. And then right here, you know, see right there. So one of our keyboards drops off, some of our drums drop off, and then we're just kind of left with another step, right? So we're kind of stepping down. Got the little lead keyboard going here, just to kind of, you know, this is pretty deep into the mix. So the only way that I would probably still be using this in a you know, on the show or whatever, is if the thing that I was coming in next, I wanted to really ride it up underneath this, you know, for like a long, you know, transition between tracks, you know, in the mix or whatever. So. But this is the version that is up on YouTube. And like I said, after I got this one done, I was like, not 100% crazy with this. So I went back and I said, okay, I'm doing a different version of this, where I just took the same version that you heard before. And the only real difference is honestly on kind of the lyrics. More specifically, volume levels. So like if I come up here, and let's kill all the music for a second. And I got to be really careful with this, because YouTube is like, for some reason, there's something about training season from Dua Lipa that, like, YouTube just, man, like a second or two of the vocals or the music, and YouTube is just on it. But this is what the version's going to be in my library that I'll be using in my shows will sound like. And you can see much better vocals, right? The flanger's gone. The reverb is still there. I dialed it back a little bit in terms of some of the settings, but it's still there because I wanted a little bit of reverb, but a little bit cleaner. And, you know, and it really kicks in like when you hear the chorus. There you go. See? This is the version that I wish I could put up on YouTube. And I don't know. It's thankfully I was able to find some live footage for the video remix of the version that's up on YouTube, because there's an audio remix that you see here, and then there's a video remix that goes with it. So you do this part, I do this part first, get this situated, and then I find video footage if I can, if something I can use to cut that together, and then that becomes what you see up on YouTube. So I really wish I could put this one up here, but man, I put a trial balloon up on YouTube with this version, and yeah, it was like boop. That's blocked it quickly, very quickly. All of the rest of the music is still the same. If you listen to the whole rest of the version, I don't think I changed anything else in here. It does impact the overall version, the output, because so all the music is still the same. But see, it makes a huge difference because when her vocals are back in there and they're in there the way they're supposed to be in there. See? That's the way it should sound. So, and then you get into the chorus. See? Her vocals are sitting right up in there, right where they're supposed to be with the music. Yeah, I wish I could leave it in there. I wish I could put this version up on YouTube, but that's the way it goes. Anyway, thank you so much for checking it out. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel with the notification bell on so you don't miss whenever I just drop one of these videos at random, right, that you might be interested in. And if you found this interesting or like, whatever you like it, just give it a thumbs up on YouTube. That lets them know that maybe other people will like it too. So thank you so much. Let's see, coming up October 2nd. Yeah, so this coming Thursday, October 2nd, I will have a show. And then after that, there's going to be a couple weeks where I'm gone because I'm doing some more traveling. So October is going to be a little light, but I'll make it up to you. All right, DJ Smooth, see ya.